Hello, my friends. I'm hiding behind my sunglasses because you probably thought I disappeared. No, I actually did not, but I have been taking a break for, it's like 6 weeks now or something. And I'll tell you something. When you stop recording videos because you're going on a big vacation with your family for the Christmas holidays, and then you kind of get in a bit of a, I'll do it tomorrow routine in January, it starts to get a little bit, overwhelming. Like, what am I going to film first? So today I thought, let's just stop making excuses. Let's just get on here and record a video, tell you all what's been going on, what's happening with my eBay store, and life in general, give you a quick update. So let's jump in. First, if you're new here, my name's Dawn. I'm known as Flippity Flipped in the reselling world and here on YouTube. And I thrift items to resell primarily on eBay. Do a little Poshmark, do a little Facebook here and there, local pickup. But I'm in Canada, and just to sum it up in one sentence, when the tariffs came in, the change at the end of August, it pretty much destroyed the pretty thriving eBay business that I had set up with my nephew, Nathan, over the summer. So the fall was, let's just call it a very tumultuous time of not knowing whether I should continue, whether I shouldn't, dealing with customer issues, just trying to figure this whole thing out. Cut to November, I got enrolled in the brand new eBay Canada International Shipping Program, which gave me the courage to turn back on sales to the United States, which I had previously shut off for 2 whole months because I just couldn't deal with it anymore. Did I start making sales? A couple, but mostly to Canadian buyers. So, the last several months of my eBay journey have primarily been selling to Canadian customers, which I'm ever so grateful for. And surprisingly, one thing I did not expect is quite a few eBay purchases from local buyers here in Calgary. So that's kind of cool, right? Now, from a purely financial standpoint, I actually make a little bit more money when there is shipping involved because we get shipping, those of us sellers who use the eBay labels to do our shipping, we get discounts. And so, with the discount, I do usually make a few dollars on the shipping too. But nevertheless, I'm happy for any sale that happens at this point. I will share some numbers with you in a minute, but let me tell you also what I have not been doing. So I already mentioned when the tariff changes happened and things got really messy right away in September, I stopped selling to the US. Now, as I previously mentioned, turned that back on in the middle of November when I got enrolled into eBay International Shipping, because that took the guesswork, the stress, the anxiety out of it. As long as I can get my item to Mississauga, which is just outside of Toronto, I'm good. As long as it makes it there, I'm clear. Whatever happens after that, as far as tariffs, buyers, breakage, returns, anything, not my problem. And I have promised I would do a video on the eBay International Shipping Program here in Canada, so I will be getting to that. So did not sell to the US, and then I did. What I haven't done since, I can tell you the exact date, August 21st, which is when Nathan, my wonderful nephew and full-time assistant for the summer, when he left to go to Iceland with his family, my sister, I did not list a single thing. So yes, September, October, November, December, January, 5 months, haven't listed a single new item on eBay. Now you might all be thinking, shame on you, Flippity Flipped. Did you not make videos when you talked about your success that were all about consistency and the importance of listing new items every single day to feed the eBay engine? Yes, I did say that. So I guess it's practice what I say, not what I do. I just had to do what was right for me. And truthfully, with all the stuff that happened, the messiness, and I'll put a link to a video up here that talked about just how frustrating that all got. after all that, I was really just not feeling it. It was stressing me out. And I was like, you know what? Come what may. Again, if you're new here, I do need to really specify that I am very blessed, very fortunate, and very grateful that I do not rely on the income from eBay to pay my bills and so on. I retired from a full-time senior corporate career and am very blessed that I don't have to make this money to pay bills. It's, it's something that is a challenge that I really enjoy, but I am not burdened with the need to have to do this and bring in a certain paycheck every month. Let's put it that way. So I chose, for my own health, happiness, well-being, to not list items. Now, I have not been to a thrift store since September. So October, November, December, January, 4 months, over 4 months of not going to a single thrift store, not going to the bins, not going to estate sales or online estate sales, or not acquiring a single item for my eBay business. So you might think, okay, she's not listing items. She's not going thrifting. Maybe she's been working hard on her death pile. Nope, didn't do that either. I guess if you're maybe getting the gist here, getting the vibe, I was kind of over the whole eBay thing after working so hard with Nathan all summer and having it all come crashing down. I guess I just needed a bit of a mental break from all of it. So that's what I did. Now, I kept my store on, except when I was, away in September and I had it off. I actually had it off for a few weeks. But once I turned it back on in the middle of October after my mom's knee surgery, which went awesome, then from October on, I was making sales here and there. And again, I'll share the numbers, what that is. You might then think, well, if you're not listing items, presumably your sales slowed down. Yes, they did from where we were in August. I will tell you what they've actually been. So let me share some numbers. So to explain the numbers, or I guess to provide a little context around the numbers I'm going to share with you, first I'm going to throw up a quick calendar just to show you what 2025 was like. It was a roller coaster, ups and downs, as you can see. So we started the year with not listing for 4 months. In case you're new here, that's when I was doing things on my own. In May is when Nathan came and I hired him, my nephew, full-time for the summer in his break between university. So we listed 1,200 items for sale in May, June, July, and August. Then the tariffs happened, as I've mentioned earlier. And while I kept selling for the first couple of weeks of September, it turned into a nightmare. So you can see, closed the store down, total shutdown for the last part of September, all of October, and the first week of November. Then things changed, as you know, turned the store back on, but went on vacation in November for a week. So I kept my store on, but of course there's delayed shipping. I'm not here to ship out items when I'm in Palm Springs. So needless to say, sales may slow down a little bit just because of that. Then back home, selling in the first half of December, and then I went on vacation for the last 2 weeks of December. So when you get to see the numbers that are coming right now, I promise you, there's a lot of stuff around the numbers. This is by no means a normal business as usual kind of time. So just bear that in mind when you see the numbers. Let's jump right in. I'm going to give you a quick snapshot here. Put together a pretty little bar graph of, in the blue, that's total sales. And in the orange, for that same period, week by week, is the net profit. So that is net profit after eBay fees, after shipping costs, and after the cost of goods sold. So I always want to be very clear what's actually in my numbers. And so this does not take into account other business expenses, taxes, things like that. But for the items themselves, this is what they sold for, and then this is what's left as far as profit at the end of the day. So you can see we started sales here on November the 7th, and going all the way through 8 weeks until December 31. So bit of ups and downs, as you can see. Like I said, a couple of vacations in there. We had American Thanksgiving in there. Lots of different things happening and some of them overlapping. So what does that mean in terms of an impact on sales? I don't know. Do you? All right, just to recap, I did a separate video before I took a break from doing videos of the first week back, like after shutting down my store for almost 2 months. What did the first week look like? And here I will just give you a quick recap in case you missed that video. So the first week back, we sold 7 items for a total of $384. Minus, you know, the fees, the shipping, the cost of the items, and we were left with a net profit of $217 and change. I was happy with that. And as you'll see on the next graphic, that represents, that net profit of $217 represents 1,000% net profit relative to the cost of goods sold. So, i.e., another way of saying that is I turned $21.70 of items I bought into $217, or 10x my money. I'll take that. Let's take a look at now at week 2. So this is before Thanksgiving, before my vacation, second week back that the store is open. I sold $339, just about 6 items in that case. So not quite 1 item per day, but not bad. And left me with a net profit of just shy of $172. Once again, when you do the math there, that's 1,000% net profit compared to the cost I paid for those goods. Yay, 10x again. All right, let's check out week 3. Now, as you can see here, I was on vacation. So what that means, I left my store on, as I said when I showed the calendar earlier. I left my store on. People were still welcome to purchase my items, but eBay would warn them, because I put a vacation alert on there, that I would not be back and ready to ship for could be up to 8 days from when I left to when I was going to be back and shipping. So that could, possibly discourage some buyers from purchasing something. I mean, if I buy something, I don't know, we live in the Amazon culture today, right? Where if it's not on my doorstep today, it better be there within a day. Well, if you live in a major center anyway. So 8 days to wait for something, you'd have to really want it, right? Anywho, we still sold in this particular week 5 items for $242. So pretty nice average sale cost per item. Minus out the stuff we have to subtract, and we're left with $141. Now, what's interesting, again, over 1,000% profit, or more than 10x my money. So what this, I think, is showing you is, when I've done other videos about, my top flips on eBay, and I'm showing a pretty decent profit margin, it's not a fluke. I'm very fortunate to have good sourcing and the proximity to find good items that can sell for a good profit. Okay, week 4. So we're just topping out the first month back after the shutdown. Oh boy, check it out. Only 2 items sold. So this one was a real slowdown. Now, I personally think this was the fallout of the week prior when I was on vacation. So I think, that had an impact, whether it's eBay not promoting my items, or just also the fact that this was the week of American Thanksgiving. Who knows, right? There could be any number of factors that actually influence the numbers. But hey, $119, 2 items sold, I'll still take it, right? And left me with a profit of just about $58. So you'll see in this case, that's actually a lower percentage net profit of only 630%. That's still 6 times my investment in those items. So, and again, 2 items, small sample size, I'm not going to get too worried about it. So let's summarize that and look at what does the first month back look like. So this is after shutting my store down for, I can't even remember now how many weeks, but call it a month and a half or a little bit longer. So you can see a bit of a pattern here, right? I don't know if my finger is pointing the same way that you're seeing the image on the screen, but we started off strong, tapered down a little bit more. And then the 4th week back, again, could it be because of other factors? Of course it could, but definitely the lowest of all of the weeks back. Nevertheless, again, I'm still making sales every single week, which, if you looked at my track record before Nathan came, I wasn't even selling things every week. So considering I'm not doing any listings, I'm not even touching eBay at this stage here, unless something sells and then I ship it, I can't complain. At least I don't think so. All right, so now let's just keep on going. I'm going to take you through to the end of the year, take you right through to December 31st. So week 5, sales of 8 items. So picked right back up again. I don't know why, but $360 just about, leaving me a net profit of $191. So that's a little less margin. It's a good dollar amount of profit for a week in my case, but only 553%. So why is that, you might ask? Well, what that tells me, and I did check my data, of course, is I had some higher ticket items, things that I paid up for, as we say in the reselling biz, things that I invested more into the item, knowing that it would still bring a good dollar amount of profit, just not like a 10x factor. So not too shabby. Week 6, let's just roll through these numbers. 3 items sold. So again, a bit of ups and downs happening now. Only 3, $132. Well, I'll take it. Very low cost of goods though. Look at that. Only $5 on those 3 items. And net profit, $75. So check out the margin. Again, these are just numbers, right? 1,500% or 15 times my money. Well, remember the previous slide? I only paid $5 for the items. So, considering I don't sell things for $10 usually, it's no wonder I could make 15x when I had such a low cost of sale on these 3 particular items that sold this week. And then just to close it out, I combined the last 2 weeks of the year. This is when I was again on vacation with my family. And this was over Christmas. So I just combined the last 2 weeks of December together. And also because the numbers were pretty small. So 3 items sold for $251. Though again, do the math here. 3 items sold for $251. Not bad. And left me with net profit of $135. So over 3 items, $135 profit. That's north of $40 per item, almost $45 profit per item. So not bad. And that was 523%. So again, in the mix there, we had, probably one, if not a couple of items that I paid a little bit higher for. If memory serves me, actually, I think one of them, which is bringing down that average profit, was a Lego that I purchased, and I paid $15 for it. It sat for, I think, over a year, maybe longer. And I was happy to take whatever I could get for it. So very little profit on that one. But again, that's the average. It's how the numbers work, right? Some are good, some are not as good, some are not too great. That's okay. So drum roll, let's take a look at the final results. So if you ever shut down your eBay store and you wonder what's going to happen, well, this is what happened in my case. In the 8 weeks following me having my store shut down for all that time and following all the turmoil and drama of the US tariffs and all the shipping nightmares, etc., here's where we stood. So it's interesting to see it all at once and look at how, it does go up and down. But for 8 weeks, we had total sales of $3,511 and net profit over those 2 months of $1,729. Hey, not too bad. The net profit is 779%, so almost 8 times my money on a total of $222 cost of the goods that I sold in the 8 weeks. So Happy. I'm happy. Are you happy for me? Do you think that I could have done better? I don't know. You tell me. Yes, Nathan and I put, especially Nathan, an incredible amount of effort in during the 4 months of the summer, May, June, July, August, but I have literally not listed a single item for sale and done anything virtually on eBay except putting all the country of origin so I could participate in the eBay international shipping. That was a pain, but an investment for the long term. But other than that, not doing anything on eBay and making $1,700 net profit after I ship these items. So I don't know. Tell me in the comments, what do you think? I am not upset about it. I'm not mad at it. In fact, it's probably honestly better than I thought it would be. So now that you know what's been going on in my store, let me tell you a little bit about what else I've been up to and why I haven't been recording videos for the last couple of months. So what else has been going on around here? Well, I've traveled. I recorded a video when I was in Hawaii in September, so check that out if you didn't see that one. Another fun trip was in November for my birthday. I decided to go to, kind of spur of the moment, Palm Springs for a week. I love California. Well, I love so many places, but Palm Springs is just super chill vibe. Love heat, so I will go there any month of the year, even when it's, 110 degrees, no problem. So took a week, went to Palm Springs, did not thrift. Nope, not even once. Now compare that to the previous 2 Novembers when I went to Palm Springs for my birthday, and one time, 2 years ago, brought home over 200 pounds of luggage, mostly thrifted items. Yep, I've done that. Did not this time. So had a fun week off and some relaxation and so on. Then got home, and a few weeks later, I mentioned this at the beginning of the video when I talked about how hard it was to get back into making videos. I went on a fantastic, so blessed, 2-week vacation with my whole family. So Nathan, his brother, my sister, brother-in-law, my parents, all 7 of us to Aruba. So we were there for 2 weeks over Christmas, came home just before New Year's, and had an amazing time. Beautiful weather. We've all actually been to Aruba before. Beautiful island, wonderful people, great weather, and just some super fun, chill family time. Snorkeling several times, playing games at night, barbecuing and cooking meals together. We did a dollar store, like $5 maximum limit gift exchange where we each bought gifts for the other 6 people. So we piled them all out on the patio table out in the backyard by our gorgeous pool, almost like a resort little backyard, and sat there in the beautiful warm weather and opened little gifts, and blessings, blessings, blessings. So that was a wonderful, wonderful time. Just before I went on that vacation, I got a new vehicle. Woohoo! That's probably why I love recording in my car, is I have not had a new vehicle for 15 years. My previous car was 15 years old. So talk about an upgrade. All the features, all the bells and whistles. I'm just having a blast. Another thing I didn't do, despite the fact I wasn't listing, I wasn't shopping or sourcing, thrifting, is I did not really clean up the chaos that was in my house after the crazy summer that Nathan and I had together, really building up the eBay business. So when he left, and then all the stuff happened, and then I went away, and then I was traveling, and do I sound like I'm making excuses? Kind of. I did not clean all that up. So when I came home in January, and it's all nice and calm and quiet, I looked around my house and thought, what chaos? Like, there was just stuff related to thrifting and eBay and all that everywhere. Now, you saw me do some videos in December of trying to get like my inventory. I did clean out my garage, a good amount, still more to do, but pretty good. And cleaned up my inventory. And then, like I say, I kind of stopped recording videos in the middle of December. So when I came back in January, I knew there was more to do. And I'll be honest with you, the thought of filming myself doing that was kind of preventing me from actually doing it, just because it's a little more involved when you have to set up the camera and film yourself and whatever. So I kind of wasn't doing it. And then finally, well, my sister was actually coming in the middle of January for work to Calgary. So she was going to be staying with me for several days. And I was like, I cannot have her come when my house is still in this kind of a disaster zone. So one weekend, I blitzed the whole house. And my goal, which I did achieve, was to get every single piece of thrifted, sourced materials that I bought to sell on eBay, but that have never been listed for sale on eBay, so death pile, as we call it, or money pile, or whatever you want to call it, out of my house. Like, as if you have watched any of my other videos, you know I have a storage unit, and we were able to successfully get quite a bit of stuff out of that storage unit because Nathan listed like 1,200 items for sale when he was working for me over the summer. But I was like, okay, why am I proud of this half-empty storage unit, but my own house feels like, a chaos, disaster zone? So I blitzed it. I got every single thing, totes and like carloads with the new car, stuff out of the house and into the storage unit. Then, again, what a luxury. And I'm so thankful that I was able to do this. I hired a professional cleaning company to come in and clean my house, like dust, vacuum, wipe things down, just detail it right after. So the day before my sister came to visit, my house got cleaned from top to bottom. And I'll tell you, it's almost like you get just a whole fresh, press the reset button on your home, because I'm looking around and like where there were piles and where there was a tote and where there was stuff stacked up in my dining room and all over the dining room table and the workspace, where the desk is, there's like empty boxes to measure for shipping and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all gone. Now, I'm also, side note, on a personal journey to declutter, I'm going to say like 50% of the stuff I have accumulated in the 15 years that I've lived in this particular home. So now that I've got this clean slate as far as the business goes, i.e. the only things that are still in my home are the inventory that is actually listed for sale. Now I can really, let's say, see the forest for the trees and go ahead and start decluttering all my personal possessions. Am I ever going to be a minimalist? No, because I like having some pretty things and some decor and so on and so forth. But I think, it might have been that trip, being away for 2 weeks in Aruba in an Airbnb. We stayed in a beautiful home. When you go to a hotel and it's just all so serene, maybe it feels a little stark, but it's kind of nice to just have all free surfaces and just no visual clutter, right? That's the goal, to get more like that in my house. So if I haven't thrifted since September, what am I doing here? Well, I'm here to look for items for personal use. Maybe a couple of big lamps, some storage solutions, all part of my decluttering and basically making myself love my home again. So let's see if we find anything. But no thrifting for eBay because I have a huge death pile and there's going to be more to come on that. Do I need a bike? Look at this little cutie right inside the door. Of course, my favorite color is green. They want $45. I'm making the sliding doors go off. $45. I don't know, is that a good deal? It's a pretty cool looking bike. But to answer the question, no, I don't need a new bike. But let's see if we find anything for the house. Well, let's see what we have right in the door. Look at these big, tall, woven basket. I don't know, what are they called? What do you put in them? Pussy willows or big reed branches or something? Anyway, not quite the vibe I'm going for. And they have these nice cabinets, or I should say shelves, right here at the entry. But this is more decor, not really anything we're looking for. Glassware. What is that, a cornucopia? Horn of plenty? Oh, is this a Cap de Monte? Hard to say, possibly a fake. And I don't know if you've ever looked for these, but they're always chipped. Anyway, not interested in that. Here's your sort of typical decor. Wow, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Okay, that almost looks like something that could be made in Kenya or something. Some coasters. Nope. Candle stuff. Vases. I got enough of that. You all know I have many things I could incorporate into my own personal decor in my storage unit. Beautiful crystal decor. And I will shop that when I get my house decluttered to see what I could maybe use in my own home. For example, I have 2 of those in my death pile. Circle of Friends, I think they're called. Today is 50% off red tags, so maybe we'll see if we find any bargains for me. Okay, I already checked it out. Not that I need a new purse, but nothing in there worth picking up anyway. But you know, we'll just show you what we've got going on here. We have quite a few here. Nothing piques my interest. Now look at all the scarves. You'd think it's winter. People would be wearing some scarves here, but I guess a lot of people have donated their scarves. And then across the aisle, we've got coats. I'm seeing red tags, so this is, you know, kind of nice. $18, so half. I mean, I don't need a new coat. I need to declutter a whole bunch of coats out of my front entry and my garage coat closets, but just showing you what we got going on. Shoes. Anything cute? No. Again, I need to declutter some shoes because quite frankly I wear the same few pairs all the time. Let's just see how much they are. $8.50 for those little sneakers. Got some boots here. Those are actually kind of cool. What do they want for those? $8.50. Not bad prices. Lots and lots. Some platform runners. Okay, I was strolling by this backpack section to get to the lamps. And you know, my eye cannot help but see a gorgeous buttery soft leather turquoise handbag. So, had to check it out. Look at, we've got branding here, nice brass everywhere. And I did not recognize that branding. Maybe you already do you? Here we go. Liz Claiborne leather. A lot of Liz Claiborne vintage bags and bags are not leather, but this one clearly is. And it is buttery soft. Has a little hang tag. I don't think it's too cute actually on this string, but hey, whatever. We've got a side pocket. So can you tell I'm very tempted to get this for personal use? I said I didn't need a purse, but this is exactly my jam. Cool pop of color. $18. We are going to put this in our cart to think about whether we will be treating ourselves with a new purse. I guess in my declutter world, that means something else has to go when I get home, right? We'll think about it. Well, here's the lamp. It's looking a little sparse. Those are kind of interesting, like tripods, but none of sort of the big, substantial ones like that. Sort of pink one is the closest to the size, but I don't like, for my own purposes right now, I don't want the pleated shade, don't like the pink. Let's just see how much they want for these. Oh, that's a wooden base. Now that looks like 5, but don't know if that's right. Let's see. Do we have a price? Oh, it looks like it was the price. Here. $5 or $5. I was gonna say $5.50, but I think, hard to film and touch lamps at the same time. Those are pretty fun for $5.50, but again, not quite the style. If you had an office or a photography studio, those would be cool. Same section as the lamps. We've got lots and lots of small appliances, single coffee makers. Like even look, Bosch. How much is that? 15. Electric frying pan, but I don't see a cord. Looks like a, what is that? Crock pot. Some mirrors and things. Oh, hot rollers, microwave oven, all kinds of stuff. But no lamps for me. Uh-oh, what happened? You may recognize the purse I'm thinking about. And what do we have here? These are, I've already scooped them up in my cart. These are vintage, solid walnut, fiddleback, Windsor chairs. I'll take them out and show you later. But am I breaking my word already? This is why I've been staying out of the thrift stores, people. Yes, I am. Why? These are $7.50 each. So $15, and they should sell for possibly 10 times that. So there's probably at least a couple $100 profit here. I'm just gonna pop them on Facebook Marketplace, local pickup, and put them on my storage unit and wait to see what happens. What is happening here? Don't look at what's in the mirror, look at the actual mirror. This is $12.50. I think I have to get it. It is actually very heavy. It looks vintage. I don't know if I'd keep it this color. It's kind of red. It gives me Japan vibes or something. But I think I'm gonna get it for me. All right, I got the chairs out of my cart. They were a little too big. And look at this in better lighting. This is really, feels like really high quality. I don't know if that's a little, I guess that's the pattern. I thought it was a crack, but looks like the pattern. And I'll show you the back. This thing is heavy. It's got like board there. And it says New Tone. Cincinnati, Ohio. So, nice mounting, like a copper wire. This is nice. Definitely getting that for myself. Still not sure about that. This is not a huge Goodwill, but it's a pretty nice one in a pretty good part of town. You can see they've got all the clothes in the middle, and then purses and shoes up there, and then all the hard goods here. That's where we're going next. Okay, not looking for any major trinkety stuff, although that little giraffe is very cute. But let's see if we see anything that I think will fit with my new vibe of my decor. Ooh, let's see what's down here first. Okay, here's what's drawing my eye. This, which is ceramic. I just like how, I don't know, I like the lines of that. Let's see, what do we have? Decorative use, only made in China. Ooh, Anthropology, $5.50. That is a possible yes. We'll put that in the cart. Oh, and look what happened. I was walking by this new cart here of new inventory, and what did I spy immediately? Do you know that logo? Tory Burch leather sandals, and they're in really nice condition. You can see here, in case you're wondering, there's the name here. The other one, beautiful condition, and they are $12.50. I'll throw up a comp. I said I'm not buying for the biz, but really? Size 7? It's a pretty good size. I don't know. Okay, back to the shelf. What else did I see? Oh yeah, this guy. He's pretty. Glass. I guess a swan? Long neck. Just don't know about the blue. It's pretty nice. $5.50. Very heavy. But I don't know. Something about it. I guess it's not really my color scheme. And oh, this too. I love these. I have many already. So do I need another one? This is what I guess would be a parent and child. $3.50. Maybe. Maybe. I'll put that in the cart for consideration. All right, anything else? Not sure what that art actually is. It almost looks like a shot from space or something. I don't know. Got some metal wall art. A couple of bigger pictures. Top one looks Asian. How much do they want for that? Oh, $14.50. For a minute I thought it said $34.50. Yikes. And what else? This, while it looks like a basket, is actually ceramic. Someone painted that or made that in 1977. Check it out. I guess that's kind of your, not quite mid-century, but almost. It's got a vibe. Oh, this is like a modern sculptural piece made of metal, probably from, you know, a Home Sense or something like that. Or got some yoga people, lanterns. Again, I have to be mindful. Some of this kind of stuff I have in my inventory, so I'm not really gravitating towards it, or I probably would have kept it already. What did I see? Oh, this looks cute. For your garden, a little, what do we call these? Oh my goodness, how come I can't think of the word? Put it in the comments. What are these called? It's not a windmill, is it? Anyway, a little garden stake. That's cute. But not anything I want for $4.50. What else? Oh, there's a magazine rack down here. I have a wooden one that my dad actually made for me, and it has the initial D routered and carved into the side. Very nice and personal. These are cute. Little birds. Some more art on the walls here. Nothing really my vibe. Let's keep going. I'm gonna do this back decor wall first. There's some coral. Can't hardly see it with all the lights. Underground fish. Takes me back to my snorkeling in Aruba in Hawaii. I am a lucky girl. Jamaica. Ooh, speaking of snorkeling, look at these little guys. These are just really lightweight plastic, like I would say dollar store or something, but cute. This guy, he's, I think, ceramic, I would guess. Got ourselves a dolphin. Fun fact, it is February the 2nd today, and my sister and brother-in-law are in Hawaii right now with my aunt, and they went on a whale watching tour yesterday and got amazing shots. Maybe I'll share one of their pictures. I'm sure they won't mind, and show you the amazing whales they saw. These are kind of nice. Sort of a wintry, scenic kind of a, looks like Canada. More wall pictures and art, and what are all these little, oh, candle holders maybe? I'm not sure what that's all about. And these figures here, not what I'm looking for. Ooh, look at this mask. Too scary for my house. It's another wooden one. And we have like a marble, no, what is that? Onyx or something? Kind of cool, but again, not my vibe. It's okay. That's the beauty of the thrift store. There's something for everyone. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Oh, what do we have? Burberry? Highly doubt it. But you know, we looked just for fun. It's kind of got that bit of a almost Burberry look. Oh, there you go. What do we think? Is it real? They're pricing it at $45. Really, Goodwill? And then they put this on it. No return. Unverified. So how do you charge $45 for something that, Goodwill, you are pretty sure is fake? Can't get behind that. And to prove my point, do you think a real Burberry would have all these like threads sticking out? And I can just tell you, this feels like the cheapest of cheap vinyl. Look at the stitching and everything. Like, come on, Goodwill. I'm sorry, I'm ranting a little bit, but just because somebody slaps a fake name on it does not mean that you should be charging $45. Come on. And then a ton of glassware here. Well, not a ton, good amount. Wine glasses, cocktail glasses, juice glasses, water glasses, all types of glassware. A lot of clear. And some novelty stuff as well. These look old. Old or pretending to be old. I think these are legitimately old. I'd have to Google image that just for curiosity. What are we charging? 3 of a set of 4. Do you count 4? I count 6. Oh goodness. So I'm hiding out in the back corner because I just wanted to give you an update. The very nice employee who was putting out the new stuff off the cart, I had to move to let her put something away, and so I just engaged her in a conversation, and I asked her whether Goodwill of Alberta, at least, can't speak for global, but I'm just speaking for the local, whether they have a policy about selling counterfeit goods. And she said, you know, obviously, as per the sticker on that bag, they can't validate or, you know, authenticate whether anything is real or not. And I said, you know, obviously, but when you know that it's a fake, it's okay to charge $45. There's no issue with that. And she said, no, there's no policy around that. So I don't know. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. I just said, my only comment to her was, you know, I just hope nobody falls for it and thinks that that's a legitimate Burberry bag, because then we're just perpetuating this whole thing about selling fakes, right? Somebody made the fake, somebody sold the fake initially, you know, off the back of a truck or off a sidewalk or something. But now Goodwill is, you know, perpetrating that as well. So tell me what you think about that in the comments. Okay, we went off on a bit of a tangent there with that fake bag, but we're actually looking for decor. Now, do you love popcorn? I do. Are these not the cutest little shelf of popcorn bowls and snack stuff? Anyway, we're looking for potential, occasional, rare and beautiful and special decor items. So, passing all this by, but I'm just showing you, oh, punch bowl. Have you ever been to a thrift store and not found a punch bowl? Does anybody serve punch? My mom does. Good for her. She's old school and people love it. What do we got here? Any good names? You know I've made money on salt and pepper. Mr. Dudley. I've not heard of that one before. This is interesting. No brand. And this salt, no brand. And nothing here for me. So my eye does not usually fail me, and while I'm not going to get this because I have a bunch of other pepper mills, this Mr. Dudley can actually bring good money depending. This is a fairly plain one, although large. I'll put some comps up in a screenshot so you can see what this could be worth if you find especially the patterned ones. So I'm not interested in any water bottles or travel mugs and stuff, but there is some organization containers, but I am not seeing anything that you can't just get probably for a similar price at the dollar store. So nothing for my purposes here. Let's check out another end cap with some decor. Mostly candle stuff. The only thing that I was a little bit intrigued by was this lantern. Feels very light though, and quite a modern aesthetic to it. So it might be nice outside. We'll see how much it is. $7.50, so that's gonna be a no for me. And I don't think there's anything else. Lots of little, these cups are candle holders, hard to tell. That's it. Now we've also got this aisle, which I always think of as like the office supplies aisle. We've got some bins and things, but I don't think there's any containers there that I need. Of course, this little pink number caught my eye just because of the color, $7.50, and it's a jewelry box. So you can see we've got a couple little drawers here, and then these swing open. Oops, there we go. So I guess you can put like hanging necklaces, and then they can go in this little pouch here, and another one on this side. So it's pretty cute, but it's kind of dirty. Even in the drawers, looks like makeup or something. Oof, nope, not for $7.50. I mean, if I found this at the bins and it was $2, maybe I would clean it up, but I don't think we're gonna take it. Nope, we're not gonna take it. And these are, what's this, the bulky aisle? We've got some more decor, some metal, like fruit bowls and banana things. More, I don't know, like baskets. I guess it's a bit the wood aisle as well. Trays. Nothing that's going to help me with the organization that I need to do. I wonder how much these baskets are, but I don't think I need them. I swear I've seen them at the dollar store. Here's a fun question. If you could open a door to anywhere, where would you go? So tell me in the comments, where would you go? Where would I go? Now there's something to think about. And on the theme of interesting things you find at the thrift store, how about this gourd? I guess it's a gourd, right? That has a skirt. It's almost like, you know, an old macrame plant hanger, except it's a skirt on our gourd. I don't know what the whole story is there. If you know, let me know. Won't be getting that. How much are they asking for this? We can't see the price. $8.50. I imagine probably a tourist thing brought from somewhere. Pretty color. So here's where we've ended up. I decided, as much as I like the look of this, I'm going to put it back because I don't know what I would put in it. I guess it's kind of sculptural on its own, but kind of a dust collector, I'm afraid. And because I have so many of these, I'm going to put that back as well. So I think we're going to put the shoes back. Can you believe it? But I probably have Tory Burch shoes in my inventory, and am I really going to list them? Okay, you're seeing me do it. I said nothing for the business. I've already broken that with the 2 chairs. We're gonna get the mirror for myself, and $18. I think I'm gonna leave the purse. I probably have a purse like this at home. Well, that was an adventure. So as we saw, I ended up resisting the urge on some of those items that I didn't absolutely love. And I only ended up with 2 things for the business. Oops, I said I wasn't going to, but I got those chairs, paid a total of $15 for the 2. I think I'm going to list them on Facebook Marketplace for maybe $2.50. See what happens. Take offers. And I spent $12.50 on that mirror. Have to figure out exactly where to put it, but I have an idea. I think I might put it in one of my spare bedrooms that my parents stay in, because we have actually been to Japan and it has those Japan vibes. Anyway, that's going to do it for today. Now that I'm back in the mode recording videos, remembering how much I love it, stay tuned because there's going to be lots more interesting things to come. And if you're still here, I forgot to say a big thank you to a couple of my viewers who reached out to make sure everything was okay, because I was so consistent from May till December in posting videos at least once a week, usually twice, that they wondered what was up when they hadn't seen me in all those weeks. So you're so sweet. Thank you for messaging me. I'm good, and you're going to see a lot more of me in the coming weeks and months. Appreciate you all for watching. Have a great day. Bye.